So in today's video, I wanted to talk about the age-old question in the property market, which is, should I buy or should I rent my property? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jumoke. Now, the one thing I will say before I delve deeper into this conversation is that it really depends on where you're at in your life. It depends on your financial situation. It depends on your emotional and mental or social situation. For some people, they might have a family, they might have children, and they are thinking about being situated in a bigger space perhaps. For others, they might live alone or might be independent, where they're thinking, well, I'm very happy to rent out a room within a house and I don't need an entire flat or an entire house to myself. As I said, it really depends on where you're at in your life. Now, as with everything in life, of course, there are pros and cons to both buying and renting. Now, the advantages of renting a property over buying a property are in several folds. The first thing is that your obligation stops where your bills and your rental stops, i.e. the only thing you have to worry about in terms of that property is making sure that your rent is paid on time and making sure that your bills are covered. That's pretty much where your financial obligation ends. The second thing is the flexibility that renting gives you. So if you had to move at the drop of a hat, you can do that very quickly. You're not sort of bound to the property. The third thing, of course, is that you can actually reduce your rental costs by perhaps renting a room in a house or perhaps splitting your rentals with someone else, i.e. having a flatmate. So that really helps you keep costs down. But on the flip side of that, one of the disadvantages of renting a property is that you have a zero ownership. You don't get to participate in the upside in terms of capital appreciation of the asset. Additionally, you are essentially paying off someone else's mortgage. The second point, of course, is that you are really at your landlord's mercy. So if they decided to repurpose the property or perhaps sell it, then you don't really have much of a say as to, how long you have until you move out, which is not really convenient for a lot of people. And unfortunately, in most situations, you don't really have a say in how that entire process turns out. And the third disadvantage, which some people find, is that you can't really put your stamp on the property. There's only so much you can do in way of structural changes or perhaps amendments that really suit your own taste or your own needs. So that in itself is a limitation. Now, when it comes to buying, there are many advantages with buying a property. First one is, of course, you have rights. You have ownership rights to an asset. And of course, it means that because you own the asset, you can participate when the asset price or when the asset value goes up. So you have that capital appreciation on your side. The second thing is that because it's your property, you can choose to do whatever you want in terms of augmentations or structural changes, things such as extensions or perhaps turning your garden into a car park. You can pretty much do what you want with your property. And depending on the kind of property you have, you may only need your local council's authority or licensing to make those adjustments. Now, one major disadvantage with owning a property is that the buck stops with you. Not only are you responsible for the mortgage payments, you have a contractual agreement with a bank or a lender to ensure that your mortgage payments are paid regardless of the situation. So if you are perhaps broke or you have lost your source of employment, the banks don't really care. Some banks might be sympathetic and maybe give you some sort of a moratorium in terms of the repayments, but at the end of the day, they're running the business and that mortgage or that debt needs to be serviced. So they will come after you at some point for the repayments. And also, if your property goes into negative equity, you're responsible for any shortfalls. Negative equity is essentially where the value of your property dips below the loan amount or the mortgage amount that you've taken out. So an example is that if your property was worth £500,000 or dollars and you had a mortgage which was £400,000 or dollars on that property, if your property ever drops below 400,000, it means that you owe more than the value of the property. So you are responsible for any shortfalls or any sort of margins between the debt, i.e. the mortgage, and the value of your property, i.e. the equity. But since the global recession of 2007 and what happened with the subprime sector, i.e. the real estate sector, many banks have now put structures or platforms in place which try to mitigate scenarios where you have negative equity. So in a scenario like that, what happens is if the bank notices that house prices are falling and perhaps the valuation of your property has gone below a certain threshold, they might ask you to reduce the loan just so that you have that uplift, i.e. you still have that bandwidth between the loan value and your property value. So that's a good thing from a house owner's perspective, but it still means that you are responsible for any monetary changes or adjustments that need to be made. Now, of course, you can reduce the financial burden on yourself as a house owner or a landlord. But what it means is that if you are a live-in landlord and you rent perhaps a room or some space within your properties to someone else, you do have to declare that as income and pay taxes on that income. So unfortunately, you do not get 100% of your rentals, even though in some situations you might have some tax deductible expenses, but on the whole, you still have to pay taxes on your income. Now, in my opinion, and to answer the question as to whether or not you should buy or rent, I still maintain that it depends on your situation. But ultimately, I believe that the key and the goal should be to own. People who own things in this world, people who own assets, pretty much run the world, in my opinion. And I genuinely believe that the goal or the aspiration should be to own one's own property at some point, because like I explained, not only do you own assets, and it's good to have that right to your own space and your own property, but you also get to participate in the upside. And a lot of my clients who are extremely wealthy actually made quite a substantial amount of their wealth from the property market or the real estate market because they took the risk to own these assets, and over time they've seen some incredible returns on their investments. Now, of course, there is the third option of owning buy-to-let properties or commercial properties, which means that even though you're a renter, perhaps you could own property that you lease out, or you could be a homeowner currently and you decide to build a portfolio of property assets. Now, the fantastic thing with owning a property portfolio is that you get that fantastic rental yield or income coming in every month or semi-annually, depending on how you structure your rental receipts. And of course, for those who are striving for financial freedom, it could be a very, very healthy and decent income stream. On the flip side of that, there is a lot of headache that goes into owning properties and dealing with rentals. Depending on the kind of property you own, you might own a leasehold property whereby the lease is not actually yours. It belongs to perhaps the developers of the property. So it means that you have to pay things like ground rent and service charge every single year, regardless of whether or not your property is rented out. So of course, this is a financial burden that you as the property owner have to bear. And another downside to this sort of opportunity or investment is that because we are currently in a high interest rate environment, it means, of course, that if you're taking out a mortgage, then you have to pay a higher rate than perhaps historically, even as recent as 2 years ago. In the UK, interest rates went up today. The same thing happened in the US yesterday. So UK interest rates at the moment are at 4%. That is quite high compared to 3 years ago where they were at 0.5%. But one way to mitigate that is to ensure that your net rental yields are higher than what you have to pay in the way of your mortgage repayments, whether that is interest only or interest and capital. If you live in an area like maybe New York where there's a rent controlled scheme, then that might be a bit difficult in terms of how much leeway you have to increase your rentals. But I think in most parts of the UK, we don't actually have that practice. So as a landlord, you have the bandwidth to increase or decrease your rentals as you see fit. The problem with that, of course, is the invisible hand which works in markets. It's all about supply and demand. So if other landlords have more competitive pricing on their properties in terms of the rentals than you do, clearly the demand will go towards that end and vice versa. So these points are all things that you should think about when it comes to deciding whether or not you should buy or rent. As I said, personally, my goal is to own a portfolio of properties that can be evergreen income streams so I can be financially free and not have to worry about certain expenses. But you might be in a different situation whereby you are very comfortable renting. And I know some people who don't necessarily want to own property. They invest in the stock market, in other markets like the bond market or other physical assets that are not real estate. So it really depends on what it is you're trying to achieve as an investor. And ultimately that decision comes down to you and what you're comfortable with. So I do hope this video has been helpful. If it has, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.